Like in hockey, we've got the original six, but when it comes to car audio, the brand we're covering today, I would like to consider as part of the original five. That's right, we're talking about MTX, an iconic brand with much pedigree in our industry that is still around today, putting out awesome product with great value and performance for dealers everywhere. We've got Grant McFatter from Trends Electronics joining us today to give us the breakdown on what's going on with MTX in car audio. This is CMA Networks, brought to you by SiriusXM, MTX, and it starts now. Welcome back, everybody, to another CMA Network session here, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu, and on today's show, we're talking about MTX, that legendary brand that came out with the Jackhammer amplifiers and crushed all kinds of SPL records. Well, of course, they continue to innovate. We've covered their products in other categories, such as power sports, of which, of course, they're thriving. But let's not forget their core stuff, all about car audio. Now, Grant, we got a lot to cover as per usual, but give us a breakdown of what we're going to be discussing today.
Ben, I thought we'd start off with our dainty products first. We're going to go through the whole line of subwoofers, obviously. This is our 75 series subwoofers. I wasn't strong enough to bring the Jackhammer. I can't lift an engine hoist. So the Jackhammer subwoofers we'll give you a slide for those. But we're going to cover our 75 series subwoofers that come in 12s and 15s. We're going to cover our 55 series subwoofers, 35 series, even the S65 square woofers, our Terminator party packs. We're going to go through Jackhammer amplifiers, Terminator speakers, and our shallow 10-inch. We're going to focus on the 10-inch and 12 shallows. But we're going to kick it off first with the 75 series subwoofers.
Good God, Grant, that is a huge subwoofer. And yes, we will definitely be covering all those things. But first, let's give an opportunity to our good friends at SiriusXM with a video here that reminds you dealers out there why you love it. And when we come back, MTX.
Hey guys, Ricky Lima here from SiriusXM. I had a chance to speak to some dealers and ask them what they love about selling SiriusXM. Here's what they had to say.
Coast-to-coast coverage.
I love SiriusXM for commercial-free music.
It's a great add-on sale and a profit opportunity.
We love selling SiriusXM because you can listen to the same channel coast to coast.
Profitability and ease of installation. It's a no-brainer.
We love selling SiriusXM for its ease of installation, great profitability, and reliability. People love it.
All right, welcome back, everybody. MTX is on the menu, and Grant is trying to make a statement with that giant woofer in front of him. But I think that is part of the 75 series, Grant, is what you mentioned. So why not start from the top? Let's dig in with the 75 series subwoofers from MTX.
So currently, this is our flagship offering in subwoofers. There may or may not be a higher-end version coming soon. Let us know, MTX, when that's ready. But this is our flagship product right now. It's a 75 series subwoofers. They come in a 15 and a 12-inch only. Dual 4-ohm or dual 2-ohm impedance availability. A lot of the technology we're going to talk about here trickle down to the entire lineup. So, yeah, this is the flagship, but when you see some of the stuff below this line, you get amazing value for the money. So first thing we'll talk about is the inverted apex surround. We've talked about this with other subwoofers. You've seen stuff on the market that's got a massive, big, 2-inch fat rubber surround or foam surround on there. That limits the size of your cone. What MTX has done is they've done this inverted rolled surround on there, which is probably about a 1/2 inch thick, and it gives you actual more cone area. So, inch for inch, dollar for dollar, with MTX, you're getting a bigger woofer. Okay, it's just strict mathematics. You're getting a larger cone. That's going to move more air. You're going to get more SPL. So 75 series, tons and tons of output. Your 750 watts RMS per woofer, so you want to give these things some power. Jackhammer 1500 would be perfect for a pair of them. Other technologies, you've got a glass fiber cone on here, so you've got a large dome, obviously making it as stiff as possible and as lightweight as possible. That's why you use the glass fiber cone. Making these things cool, because when you're putting that kind of power into them, you don't want to burn up the voice coil. So I don't know if you can see this from there, but one of the things they do is the spider plateau venting. So on the bottom here, there's vents all the way around the woofer to cool that voice coil. Not only the inside, the internal voice coil, the internal part of the voice coil, but also the external part of the voice coil. That's going to keep this thing cool when you're pounding on it hard, ripping up your DJ Magic Mic or whatever you listen to for music. Tons of output. Again, 15s and 12s only in these. The value for the money is crazy. These are under $800 retail for the 12s, under $1,000 for the 15s. If you want something that's going to give you a ton of power, not break the bank, and give you super reliable performance for a long time, the 75 series are it.
I get the theme today, Grant. We're going to be going down the entire avenue of subwoofers from MTX. And this next one really does stand out because it doesn't look like the rest of them in the S65 series.
Yeah, the S65 is our square series of subwoofers. They come in a 10-inch and a 12-inch, available in a dual 4-ohm impedance only. This is boasted as being the loudest 500-watt RMS subwoofer in the market today. So with the patented surround on here, no one else has got a license to use this except MTX, but this takes all the stress off of the corners when you're pounding this thing hard. The S65 rated at 500 watts RMS, perfect with a Jackhammer 500 or Jackhammer 1000 if you're doing a pair of them. But these are awesome, awesome subwoofers. Work in small sealed enclosures. You're under 1 cubic foot for sealed. Vented's a little bit bigger. You're about 2 cubic feet ported for these. So a lot of guys will use this application in a square, so the square subwoofers in a sealed application. A lot of trickle down technologies, again, from MTX. You've got that radial voice coil cooling. Again, keeping this thing cool when you're pumping in 500 watts of power into it is ultimate in making this thing cool, reliable. But if you want something that's going to give you a unique look, great performance, and have more output for a 500 watt RMS subwoofer than anything else in the market, that's it. Your S65 series 10s and 12s, the ones to use.
So of all the subwoofers that MTX is offering, what, in your opinion, Grant, would be that go-to sub, the one that every store retailer has to have in stock? Because this is the one that you're punching out on a regular.
Got to be the 55 series, Ben. By far our #1 seller in the entire lineup. Some of the things that trickle down from the 75 series subwoofer, obviously, is the inverted apex surround. You get a larger cone area, so you're moving air. You're going to get more air with this woofer over the competitor product. The 12-inch version is under $300 for these. The 10-inch version is under $280. So bang for the buck, by far, this thing hammers over a lot of the competition. Double stitched around. The radial cooling on the voice coil keeps this thing nice and cool. You're pumping 400 watts RMS into these. Again, for an enclosure, you're between 0.7 and 1 cubic foot sealed is what they like to see. I like to go a little bigger to get more output out of it, so around 1 cubic foot sealed. And you're under 1.5 vented to 2 cubic feet, depending on whether you can get a 10 or a 12. They do come in a 10-inch, 12-inch, and a 15, but by far my favorite subwoofer out of the bunch, just dollar for dollar, under $300 retail for the 12s. It's pretty tough to beat, man. Really tough to beat.
So if I'm building a system, I really like the features on that 55 series sub, but not all systems have the budget to put that kind of power into it. Do you have a version of that 55 that maybe require a little bit more modest power and still get great output and value?
Well, this has the same family look, but it's a step down. This is our 35 series regular depth subwoofers. We have a shallow version as well. But this one still has that inverted apex surround. They have a single row stitching instead of the double row stitching on the cone itself. But again, you're getting more cone area with these woofers because of that surround technology on it than anyone else. Power handling wise, you drop from 400 watts RMS to 250 watts with these. So that's your ideal application for hitting that 500 watt monoblock type of thing. 500 watt monoblock on a pair of these and you're good to go. So conservative, modest power handling on these. Same technology with the apex surround. Same technology with the radial venting on the voice coil. So you're not losing a lot. It's just a small step down in power handling. And that'll get you that extra $100 discount on your retail price from over the 55 series. And
finally, Grant, when it comes to that price point subwoofer, I know I've seen them because it's got that embossed MTX, audio logo. We've seen it a million times. Very popular, very visible, but also comes in at a very interesting price point.
So volume-wise, this is probably our biggest seller. Not in this format, in the party packs, the dual 12 sealed and dual 12 ported versions of them. But the Terminator Series subwoofers are available in a 10 and a 12 as a raw driver. You've got your more traditional regular rubber surround on there. So other than the other technologies that you've had in the 35 and 55, you do lose a little bit of that cone area. This is also a stamped steel version of it, smaller ferrite magnet. Your power handling on these is 200 watts. So again, ideal, for an entry-level price point product. Get your first customer getting some bass in their car with a pair of 12s. Our party pack, our Terminator party pack, vented, is the way to go. Comes with a 500 watt RMS amplifier in the package, and that gives your customer the best bang for the buck. All he's got to do is add an amp kit, some wiring, and he's good to go. But Terminator has been around for a long, long time, man. It's legendary. The red and black, that's not going away anywhere. But that's Terminator for you, man. It's awesome.
I think this is a perfect segue, Grant, to get into amplifiers now. You keep mentioning them. They're available in the party packs, but let's start from the top. The most iconic series of amplifiers from MTX is the Jackhammer series. Let's break that out so that dealers understand what the offering is.
So, Ben, I have a few of them in front of me on the table here. We've got 3 of our most popular models. There's actually 5 amplifiers in the Jackhammer line. Starting off with the baby guy is the 500 watt monoblock, the Jackhammer JH 500.1. As the name would suggest, it's 500 watts RMS at 2 ohms, comes with a bass knob, high level inputs, just a great performing amplifier, perfect for those 35 series woofers that you needed at a budget. Pair it up with the Jackhammer 500, you're good to go. You're stepping up to the 12s in 35 series, or you're stepping up to the 55 series subwoofers. Then we have the 1000 watt monoblock available, JH 1000.1. As the name would suggest, again, 1000 watts RMS. This is stable at 1 ohm. Makes full power at 1 ohm. We have a larger version of that. Maybe you're going into the 75 series woofers. You need the Jackhammer 1500. Just so happens that it's 750 watts RMS for a 75 series woofer. 2 of those on a Jackhammer 1500, and you're good to go. Again, bass knob included, high level input with the amplifiers. They have a 4-channel amplifier if you're complementing the 3 monoblocks. Want to do a full system with Jackhammer amps. The Jackhammer 300.4, 75 watts by 4 RMS, high pass, low pass, crossovers built in, and same, just a slightly smaller form factor than the Jackhammer 1000 if you're building a nice cool amp rack. And then rounding it off is my favorite one out of them all, again, is the 5-channel amplifiers, just because they fit in one amp solution for a lot of cars. It's a really good price point for those guys starting out. It's 60 watts by 4 RMS, 500 watts RMS at 2 ohms on the subwoofer channel. Comes with a bass knob. It's just a nice small family of amplifiers. The Jackhammer Series, 500 watt, all the way up to the 1500 watt monoblock, everywhere in between. So great amps, great performance. The biggest thing on these is reliability. We don't get them back. Super reliable. Of course, you'd expect that from a company that's over 40 years old. They don't make stuff that breaks. Super reliable product.
I can only imagine that there is, of course, a step-down option from the premium Jackhammer line that could kind of support some of these lower-end, more entry-level drivers that you've presented today. And I think it's called Thunder.
You think you know what you're talking about, Ben, with what's coming up next. Thunder series of amplifiers. This fits below the Jackhammer series. Obviously, you're at a lower price point on these. 3 products in this amplifier offering. We have a 75 watt by 4-channel amplifier. We have a 1000 watt monoblock amplifier, and we have a 500 watt monoblock amplifier. All come in below the Jackhammer price points. The only option you don't get over the Jackhammers is the remote bass controller is an option on these. So you pay another $40 retail for the bass knob. But great performing amplifiers, great power. Again, not very big. My hand's not. Talked about my hands ad nauseum, but I don't have big hands. That's the size of my hand for a 500 watt monoblock. Great performance, super reliable products. Hit a price point that's really key with a lot of your entry level customers that want performance for the buck. These deliver on that, absolutely.
Hey, Grant, let's stick to this Thunder theme and now transition to another Thunder product in speakers because, well, let's be honest, we've talked about subs, we've talked about amps, but MTX actually has some really high caliber, high value speakers that dealers need to know about.
Yeah, I think that's an area that we've touched on a bit with, how much value you get with MTX. And I think it's somewhat forgotten with some retailers, even myself sometimes, because we have other brands, we forget about, how good the value of the product is. The Thunder Series speakers is no exception to that. So we have 3 sets of component speakers. We have a 6.5 inch on the table here. We have a 6x8 component speaker, and we have a 5x7 component speaker as well. So, 5 1/4, 6.5, 6x8. The 6.5's got a phase plug in the middle. So again, for the value of the speaker, you get a lot of technology in here. You've got the phase plug for better off access response. You get a fairly shallow mounting depth. You're under 2.5 inches of depth on the 6.5-inch speaker. It does come with the passive crossover. Again, we talked about those guys that are using DSP, then go ahead and set up your own active crossover points. But for those price points these speakers are sold at, I think these are going to be run with the passive crossover. So a nice quality, good quality component set. The tweeter, you can take it apart. Again, if you're going into those factory locations, you can just twist it off, take all the extra parts off, and you've got a fairly small tweeter size that'll fit in most factory locations or the A-pillar, that kind of thing. So really nice set of component speakers, under $350 a set for all 3 different sizes. And then rounding out the lineup, we have a series of coaxial speakers. So we have a 4x6, a 5-inch coax, 6.5-inch coax that we have on the table, 6x8, and a 6x9 in the 3-way. The nice thing I like about all these speakers is they're all soft dome tweeters, so they sound really good. They're not harsh and bright like you would normally get at a price point of these speakers. I've heard that from some other brands that rip your face off at under $300. So these really, really sound good with the soft dome tweeters on them. Also in the box, they also include the grills, which some other brands don't include the grills. So you got to spend another 30, 40, 50 bucks just to get the grills. These are included in the box. And when you add it on there, it's got a really good, rich, industrial looking finish on there. I mean, that's a pretty nice looking speaker for around 150 bucks. Again, sound quality wise, that's what's really important, is how good they sound. And I think they deliver at that price point. Super soft, super nice soft dome tweeters, excellent performance. And again, value for the money. I think MTX is tough to beat.
And finally, Grant, I want to close out the show with what I feel is probably a standout product that's been sleeper at the same time, because these speakers here really do stand out on a soundboard when you demo them to customers, and they sound surprisingly good. So tell us all about the Terminator speakers from MTX.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you're talking about demoing the product. I think if you see that on your demo board, it stands out from the 5 other brands of black cone speakers you have on there that might be on the demo board. So these definitely do stand out. That's the whole idea behind the Terminator series is, they're not going to change the color of it. Red's been synonymous with Terminator for years and years and years. But really, when it comes down to it, like you mentioned, the performance you get for the dollar you pay for, again, is what MTX I think is famous for. So 6.5-inch component speakers, that's the only one they have in the line that's a mid-range and tweeter. The tweeter comes apart, so you've got a super small tweeter. They give you both the surface mount and a flush mount cup in there if you want to stick that flush mount that into the door, or it works good on your demo board. So, a component kit, it's under $150 retail for a set of 6-inch components. The other thing about these as well is the mounting depth. You're under 2 inches deep on these, so those cars where you have to go, shallow applications, Subaru, WRZ, that type of thing, these will fit. A lot of older Volkswagen doors, stuff like that, they'll fit in there. Guys that are building a hot rod want something inexpensive in there. They don't want to listen to the engine. They don't care about the sound as much. They want to listen to that engine roar with their LS7 motor in there. But these will fit nice in a kick panel application, those cars. And then rounding out the whole line is a series of coaxials. We have a 4x6, we have a 6x8, we have a 5 1/4, and we have a 6.5-inch, and then a 6x9 3-way in the setup as well. So all using silk dome tweeters. My apologies that the 6x9 is a 2-way, not a 3-way, but all using silk soft dome tweeters. Again, at this price point, the sound quality you get, we're not talking about, competition level, but for someone looking for great quality sound on a budget, these are phenomenal sounding speakers. So if you haven't heard them, give Terminator a check out. They're awesome.
That was Trends Electronics' Grant McFatter, their national sales manager, coming in with us to talk about MTX and all the great products that you may or may not have known about. If you're interested to find out more details on any of these products presented on today's show, I encourage you to check out the official website found at mtx.com. And if you happen to be a dealer in Canada and would like more information, well, reach out to the team at Trends Electronics. In closing, I'd like to reiterate what Grant was saying, and the fact that MTX is a legacy brand. It's been in our business from the get-go and has gone through so many different iterations, but yet through all this time and change, it has managed to adapt and evolve with those times. And as we look at their car audio, is it the newest and most recent innovations? Maybe not. but does it represent a tremendous value along with the pedigree and that brand recognition? Absolutely. So if you're looking to partner up with a brand that can support you with different levels of quality as well as with value, definitely MTX can deliver, especially in the subwoofers. And of course, the legendary names such as Thunder and Jackhammer will certainly help the sales pitch. On that note, thanks for tuning in to another CMA Networks presentation brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM with over 150 channels in your vehicle. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.